That's crazy. Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hope everybody's doing very well on this Monday morning. This is Travis from Carter Capital, helping you fight for your financial freedom throughout the overall forex market, the cryptocurrency market, the industry market, but anything else that we can be able to put our hands on when it comes down to being able to create any type of extra income that ends up coming in. As we go through and be able to place in everything, I'm going to go through the disclaimer. Once we end up getting done with the disclaimer, then after that, we go ahead and jump into everything else. Um, we're going to end up doing this for about 20 to 35 minutes, taking a look at what they have for us, overall charts and everything else going into this morning. And then after that, if we don't have anything, then obviously we'll keep it pushing and kind of go from there. So I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from the education, you can be able to make your own informed decision and understand that trading involves risk. It involves risk of being able to make money. It also involves risk of being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind and understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you're going to end up making money today. So with that being said, as we go through, take a look at the overall charts and kind of put everything else in perspective. I'm going to show myself onto the screen. And then after that, we'll go ahead and get started. Hey, how are you doing, everybody? Once again, my name is Travis. I've been trading for a while now, taking a look at some overall opportunities and being able to go from there. And over the course of the last couple of days, we've been seeing a lot of movement, and that movement has started to regain back strength back up to the upside as we are kind of taking a look at what's happening with the overall market as well. CMG, what's going on with you, big dog? Hope everything's going well with you, and we'll go from there. So, economic calendar, like always, if we kind of do this we always do everything in an order. We do it for order for a reason, to kind of make sure everything is good. We end up taking a look at the economic calendar to be able to understand what type of data we're looking at. Remember, it's either a trader state or a fundamental state. If we take a look at what's happening today, there's only we have three red bars, but those three red bars are only between two countries, and because of that, today is a trader state overall, which means that the charts are going to be more important um, than what you see off of just the fundamental news. Everything is fine. Um, Everything's fine. Slow week. Really didn't do that much this weekend. Um, I'm a homebody anyway, but really didn't do that much this weekend. Wish I would have. Wish I would have probably did a little bit more. But let's take a look at what's going on with the United States dollar index, and then after that, we'll kind of flow from there. Let's see. Henrik, what's going on? Hope everything is going well with you. Hopefully your weekend was well. Hopefully you end up doing more than I did. I literally end up didn't. I be honest, I didn't do much of anything. Sometimes that's the best weekend. So if we're being very honest. All right, so United States dollar. As we take a look at it, the weekly is in the sell zone. We take a look. We've been taking a look at this one for a while. I'm going to start getting rid of some of these colors. Now I don't need these colors anymore. Get rid of that. We have those highs and that low. I can keep that. Don't need that. Don't need that. This black line. Don't need that. We talked about that opportunity. We said that it was going to bounce and fall. That's already happened. And we can get rid of this and get rid of that. All right, cool. So let's talk about what has happened. I'm going to be very brief with this, but from a weekly perspective, market essentially what the market is doing is basically retracing and it's finding support at the inner trend line. It ended up bouncing off of this inner trend line, kind of doesn't stay above, so that means that the market is considered to be bullish. But if we look at the weekly is in the sell zone, and we're seeing that the market is starting to turn over when it comes down to this. That means that we're going to end up seeing some weakness in the United States dollar, which means that we'll probably end up seeing strength in the index pairs, strength when it comes down to gold, strength when it comes down to other pairs outside of the United States dollar pair if we take a look at it from a weekly perspective. Now, from a daily perspective, we end up the market was basically inside of this smaller consolidation. Currently, the market right now is at 12,860, and the market has been falling to the downside. Even though we look at the stochastic and the stochastic is telling us that it's in the buy zone, we know that the weekly is saying that there's a probability of the market going down, but it has a visual of going up. We see that the daily has a probability of going up, but there's a visual of it going down. With that being said, both of them are not trading in the same direction. And because both of them are not trading in the same direction, starting off the week, I would not look at U.S. dollar pairs. So Euro United States dollar, we'll take a look at pound United States dollar and a few other pairs like that. I'm probably not going to pay attention to just because of what I'm seeing with the overall index. We'll take a look at what's happening with gold. With oil. Oil finally did what we thought it was going to do. It took us almost 6 months for this move to be able to happen. We take a look at it. Remember the moves, the consolidation started back in November. We ended up having a support of $70 and a resistance of 82.50. I literally had in an order for almost a month that had not been filled at $70 per barrel. Expecting that the market was going to go down to $63 per barrel. That's exactly what's happening right now. Currently, the low of this overall price is at 64.10. I ended up cashing out on some of my initial movement on Friday as the market kept on moving down. But we can clearly see from a weekly perspective, we can see that the momentum has taken us to the down perspective, and if it keeps on going this way overall from down fibs, just overall, um, we can easily say that 63.45 will probably end up being a number that may end up being hit. And then after that, worst case scenario, something truly happens to the worst side, then we can see that $47 per barrel could possibly end up being touched from a weekly perspective. Now, from a daily perspective, the market's in the buy zone. So that means that if you are not in on this overall trade already, then I will probably be a little bit more iffy. We can see that the market had a little bit of consolidation after breaking this overall point, but we end up having a breakout. We had a retest, just like always. Here goes your breakout. There goes your retest. Retest happened right here. And then after that, the market started to fall. It has broke below this low, but it has to close below this low to continue to hit the overall D extension. But anybody else that's gotten it right at that $70 mark or right at 74 when it truly ended up breaking, I don't think that you're truly upset about the profit that you're making right now at this particular point. I just think that you probably should just hold off and see how everything kind of reacts in the first 15 minutes. Or not the first 15 minutes, the first portion of the day today as the market is kind of going through and we're going through our Sunday to Monday trade. So if you're not in right now, I would say be a little bit more patient. If you are in, based off of what we ended up planning out for literally months at this particular point in time, congratulations. All you got to do is just be a little bit more patient to see this thing kind of truly play the way that it's supposed to. All right, let's take a look at gold. We take a look at gold. We can see that gold finally ended up popping up past 2,000, and I'm mad at this one. I did not take the rest of that trade. Golly, I did not take the rest of that trade, but it's been a long time coming on this overall move, which means that Bitcoin probably ended up pushing up past 29,000, or at least up past 26, if we're being honest. Resistance on this one was up at 20,000 at 2070. This happened right when the Russian-Ukraine war actually ended up starting off. This was when they ended up having that first big push before. So we know that that's the resistance, and as soon as we end up breaking past, um, 1616 a few months ago, we could clearly see that this market was ready to be able to push back up to the resistance, or at least go up to the resistance. The question was how long it was going to end up taking. So last week we ended up having a big push out of consolidation. The D extension, when it comes down to this move, is 2053, which matches up with the D extension and the overall movement in general. Now it's just a case of being patient to be able to find another move. There was a counter trend line break that we ended up getting. We got out at 1957. I thought that we were going to end up having a little bit more of a retracement to be able to play along with. That did not happen as of yet. I'm still looking at buying to the upside, but that big push up to 2000 may end up having us kind of look and see, or kind of see that the market may end up having a little bit of resistance first before getting back up to 2000. So plan would be on this one, since we already made money off of this one last week, is to wait and kind of see this market kind of go back inside of this yellow area, retest, and then after that kind of push back up to the upside. Um, kind of turning past resistance into a future support, and then after that, starting to push back up. Gold, I am looking to be able to buy throughout the day. The question is, are we going to end up getting a move to be able to jump into it? Currently, right now, I'm going to say no, but it's only one way to find out. Just be patient. Allow the market to be able to kind of play itself out. Okay, so there we go with that. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. There we go. Does not fail. Does not fail one bit. Does not fail. Um, so let me tell you why I was so confident why I thought Bitcoin was going to end up going up to 29,000 based off of this movement. First off, we go back to where we are based off of the daily. We can see that. Um, just go back to, I'm just going to highlight some pushes, just some movements that we end up seeing. And I'm just going to kind of wrap a bow around it. So when the market ended up making its first push back in 2020, when the market ended up hitting 25,000, it ended up doing a quick rush up to 29. It wasn't really no hesitation up to 29 when it came down to that spot. When it fell down at the early portion of last year, once it went past 25, it ended up quickly getting out of that position and falling back towards 25 once again in that spot. So it wouldn't surprise me that there will be another unfair market price when the market end up pushing past 25,000 right here again, to be able to really ramp up to 29. And we're looking at this based off of days. This is not a lot of, um, this is not, what's the best way to say it? It's not surprising how fast it ended up pushing up from this point. Like I ended up saying before, with the United States dollar being weak, with the bank systems being a little bit weak about what's going on, people could end up putting their money into alternative positions. You had an opportunity in early January to be able to catch it at 16,000. Currently, right now, if you did not catch it at that number, then that's not. I mean, not necessarily your fault. A lot of people kind of shied away from Bitcoin, but we know that 25,000 was the actual number that once you end up hitting that position, we will can end up having a big push inside of that area back up to 29. So uh, if you end up catching that move, congratulations. Once again, that's something that we kind of played off of and knew was going to end up happening. Now you just got to be a little bit patient to allow the market to be able to kind of run up and get back up to 29. And then from there, we're going to see how well it starts working in um, between that when it comes down to pushes. But Bitcoin is still bullish. Now it's just kind of seeing how the market's going to end up playing off on that move. Um, let's see, US 30 and Nas 100. We'll kind of get out of here when it comes down to that. Nas 100. Um, take a look at it from an Ikomoku Cloud's perspective, real quick. First, market is bullish. We can see that the Ikomoku Cloud is saying that it's bullish. We're going through this large scale consolidation that I did not want to put my hands on. This overall, we can see that we kind of shrink this out a little bit. We really don't have no free space of this overall cash that we can be able to make off of this. Let me go back to the hourly. Uh, Currently, right now, we're at the top of a large consolidation point that ended up happening right here. It broke out of that area, broke up to the upside. We're pretty much at the last extent when it comes down to numbers at 12,580. We go to the 2 hour and kind of make a little bit more sense of this. Um, the market still has a little ways to go. I would say once the market ends up clearing 12,700, then we have a better space for the market to be able to kind of make its push up to. Um, but even once it ends up passing 12,700, there's really it's 12,700 to right around 13,000. That's going to end up being the easiest trade that you could be able to take off of this movement. Now, when I'm saying easy trade, I just mean that there's going to be a lot of low volume inside of this little pocket right here. Once the market ends up breaking past 12,000, that's what I want to take advantage of right now. If the market is going to continue to be bullish. Okay, so as we go through and be able to take a look at it, keep in mind that once the market ends up breaking past these overall highs, uh, Once the market ends up breaking past these overall highs right here, 12,750, 12,700, somewhere around there. I have it in a purple line. I'm going to change that. Let's make that a blue line. Um, Once it ends up getting past that level, then after that, we got it all the way to 13,000. That I think is going to end up being a very fair move that you could be able to take advantage of as the first initial move when it comes down to this position. So it'll be from there to there, that pocket that we're looking at in that area. Until then, we're going to kind of stay and kind of wait and see how the market kind of reacts. We probably might see a little bit of consolidation until that actually ends up happening. US 30, last one for today. Continued to go in its descent when it came down to the sell trades. Kind of like what happened with gold. We ended up taking a look at this one for a very long time. We ended up saying that we did not want to trade in the 33% area because we knew there was going to be a bad chance of being able to win inside of that area. However, we ended up taking trades right outside of the consolidation pop. That area was at 32,500. Once the market ended up breaking past 32,500, we ended up saying that the market was going to fall down to 31,450. That's exactly what ended up happening. The market ended up pushing down, popping back up from this point. Has popped back up 3 separate times from this point. So here's a new consolidation inside of that area. Great move for everyone that ended up. Great move for everyone that ended up taking the time to be patient on this movement. Now, currently, we're sitting here in the second consolidation. We just got a lot of things to kind of play itself out. Here's the high buy node. Right here, the question is now, where's the market going to go if it continues to fall? If it continues to fall, let's see. If it continues to fall from a short-term perspective, um, the next area will end up being that 30,750 number that I was talking about, the 30,700. I have it at 30,420 for some reason. I think that's based off of the hourly. Yeah, I'll move that up. So 30,750 is the next area where I would like to be able to trade down from. So market breaks from 31,450. Once it breaks from 31,450, then that next position where I think that the market's going to end up falling down to safely. When I mean safely, that means that you can be able to get into the trade once it ends up having this big pop and starts to be able to truly be able to make this move in one direction after breaking outside of consolidation. I believe that the market could go to this number, about 600 points from here, um, with relative ease. About 600 to 700 points with relative ease. Now, obviously, we've got to see a catalyst, but once the market ends up falling down from that position, that's the next biggest move. Now, the question is, how patient can we be? Like always, how patient can we be? Now, if it breaks above and it breaks above this 32,300 area, then we'll be trading back up to the 32,500 area. Just overall, we can see that we can clearly see that NAS 100 end up making a pop to the upside, and typically NAS 100 and Dow Jones don't make movements against each other that long. So this may be just another kind of push up to the upside, and continuing to push up to the upside from here after being able to find support. But if it does fall down, then we know where it's going to go. If it does pop up, we know that we have a better chance of being able to catch it right around 32,240, and then try to trade it back up to at least 32,6. Well, takes profit position will be 32,500, but we have this other gap that we end up taking advantage of before when the market fell right here. Okay, so something to be able to pay attention to. Not yet, but something to definitely be able to pay attention to. You like what I ended up doing? Please make sure that you end up clicking on that boost button for me. Um, like always, we'll be here in the mornings being able to take a look at overall trading opportunities. As we see this market kind of consolidate, look at every market kind of consolidate. That's really the only trades that you end up getting into would be the trades that we was in last week at this particular point. So be patient. A lot of market to kind of play itself out today. We'll see how everything kind of reacts, and then after that, we'll go from there. Like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade your plan. I see each and every one of y'all in the next video. Take it easy.